The amber veins along Thessa's arms pulsed white-hot, and every breath she drew through clenched teeth came out shaking. "The door won't open until it's over," she said. Her voice dropped to something Cole Draineen could feel in his MERS. The red lockdown light streaked across her obsidian exoskeleton. He swallowed hard. The cargo deck and chamber had just gotten very, very small. You know that feeling when you walk into a room and immediately realize you should have picked a different room? If you want to know just how wrong one room can go, subscribe and stick around. Back to Cole's problem. He was 29, built like a man who'd spent a decade hauling freight, broad hands permanently stained with dock grease. His only other talent was humming off-key when things got weird. And things were definitely getting weird. The deck and chamber on level 4 of Relay Station Opus was 12 feet across, sealed bulkhead on one side, single ventilation grate on the other, and roughly 0 places to hide from an 8-foot Corvathi female whose exoskeleton caught the red light like polished volcanic glass. Thessavor stood with her back against the far wall, bronze eyes locked on him, her clawed fingers pressed flat to the metal behind her. The amber bioveins tracing her arms and throat pulsed faster, brighter, and the temperature in the room had already climbed 3 degrees since the lockdown engaged. Cole tugged off his cargo glove, shoving it in his back pocket, flexing his bare fingers in air that felt thicker by the second. Thessa's head snapped toward the movement, tracking his exposed hand like a hawk stalking a field mouse. Something about the attention made the skin along his forearm tighten. He didn't step back, though he probably should have. "Your sweat," Thessa said, her voice resonant enough to hum in the chamber walls, "is making it worse." Cole wiped his palm on his coveralls. Thessa's claws raked down the bulkhead behind her, 3 clean lines in military-grade steel. A growl rolled out of her chest, vibrating through the floor, and the bioveins along her collarbone flared so bright he could see the pulse beneath her exoskeleton. Rapid, hungry, completely involuntary. And Cole didn't flinch. He stood there, hand still half-raised from wiping it, watching her with the mild expression of a man who'd seen worse on a loading dock. That seemed to break something in her. The growl cut short. Her bronze eyes widened fractionally, confusion replacing intensity for exactly 1 heartbeat. She looked at him like he was the strangest creature she'd ever been locked in a room with. The temperature climbed another degree. Cole's shirt stuck to his back. Every bead of sweat rolling down his neck fed the cycle tearing through her system. Proximity wasn't helping. 12 feet had felt manageable 5 minutes ago. Now the chamber might as well have been a closet. He shrugged off his jacket. Just the heat. Nothing to do with the way Thessa's breathing hitched when he did it. Her claws slowly retracted. The amber veins dimmed for half a second, then surged brighter than before. The scent in the room shifted warm and deep, like copper and night-blooming flowers, rolling off her skin in waves the ventilation grate couldn't touch. Thessa pushed off the wall. 1 deliberate step toward him, then another. Her 4 fingers uncurled, trembling with restraint. She reached past him, pulled his cargo glove from his back pocket, held it in both hands, claws pressing into worn leather, and brought it close enough to breathe in, eyes half closed. The timer on the lockdown panel ticked steadily behind her. Red numbers counting down something Cole increasingly didn't want to end. He watched her hold the glove like it was the most precious thing on the station, and the last sensible part of his brain went quiet. There's a moment when you realize the locked door isn't really the problem. It's that you've stopped wanting it to open. If that just hit you somewhere, subscribe. More's coming. The silence between them had weight. Cole felt it pressing against his chest like a physical thing. The hum of the ventilation grate, the tick of the lockdown timer, and beneath it all, the sound of Thessa breathing slower now, deliberate, measuring each inhale against something she didn't trust herself to hold. "My kind avoid proximity during cycle," she said. "We isolate. We seal rooms. We do not." Her claws tightened on the glove. "We do not choose company. But you did." The words came out quieter than he intended. Thessa's head tilted. That bird of prey movement he'd noticed earlier. For the first time since the door locked, something in her expression cracked open. Not the biology, not the cycle, but something beneath it. "I picked this room," she said. "I picked you." The absurdity hit them simultaneously. An 8-foot apex predator in full heat cycle, clutching a dock worker's cargo glove like a love letter, confessing to a man with grease under his fingernails that she'd chosen him out of an entire relay station. A breath of laughter escaped Cole. Short, warm, involuntary. Thessa's mandibles clicked in what he began to recognize as her version of the same thing. The distance between them closed to nothing. Her skin radiated heat like sun-warmed stone. He could see the amber veins weren't just light. They moved, liquid fire tracing paths beneath obsidian glass, every path leading toward him. The scent of copper and night flowers filled the air, seeping into his clothes, his hair, the lungs he couldn't stop filling. She reached down, took his wrist. Her clawed fingers, impossibly gentle, circled the pulse hammering against his skin. The veins along her arm shifted. Amber bled to gold, gold burned to white. The glow climbed her shoulder, throat, jaw, until she was lit from within, holy and hungry all at once. "Stay still," she whispered. The lockdown timer hit 0. The bulkhead seal hissed. The red light above the door clicked to green, and the door slid open. Neither moved. Cole stood perfectly still, her claws around his wrist, green light washing over them both. He understood with absolute clarity that the locked door had never been what kept him here. The chamber cooled by a single degree as station air crept in. Thessa's veins dimmed slowly, white to gold to amber. But her grip didn't loosen, and his pulse didn't slow. She looked down at the cargo glove, pressed between her other hand and chest. Then she looked at him. "This smells like you," she said, quiet, certain. "Keep it." The word came easy, like he'd been planning to say it for hours. Her bronze eyes searched his face, looking for a joke, a retreat, the backpedal she'd probably learned to expect. She found none. Her claws slid down his wrist, and her 4 fingers laced through his 5. Awkward, mismatched, warm, where obsidian met skin. "The next cycle," she said, "is in 3 years." Cole hummed low, off-key, the way he always did when the world tilted sideways and he hadn't figured out what to say yet. The green light held steady. Station noise filtered in. Distant loaders, a cargo bell, someone shouting about a mislabeled crate on Deck 9. Normal sounds. The ordinary universe carried on right outside that threshold. Thessa's fingers tightened around his. Neither stepped through. "Please follow my channel for more videos. One click from you can change my life."